Yo, what's going on? This is Suerte. Welcome to another one of my YouTube episodes. This time I decided to do something a little bit different. I've been working a lot with my guy Tak, who's this amazing artist. He's a young, up-and-coming artist that's coming in Dubai. I actually don't think he's an up-and-coming guy, anymore. It's incredible to see what he's been able to do since he arrived in 2018 to now, from, being a new kid in the scene who was kind of making waves a little bit from what he was doing in Egypt to suddenly opening for some big name artists on the main stage at Soledxb a year later to now being one of the most sought after artists, executive producers, sound engineers. Everybody wants to work with this guy. So since he was coming around to mine, I thought it'd be cool to sit down and have a little chat with him. And this is how it went. Check it out. This is for syncing reasons. Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Hi.
You're an audio engineer. You know what it's like.
Yes.
All right. So where should we start? Really quickly, for people that don't know who Tak is, who is Tak?
I can curse, right?
Yeah, you can curse. It's fine.
Okay, so Tak is a rapper, singer, audio engineer, and an independent artist overall. I like making all kinds of music. I like to genre hop or just ignore the idea of genres completely. And I am Egyptian. I'm Nubian.
What's Nubian?
So Nubian,
for people that don't know, what?
People that don't know, there's a specific area in Egypt called Aswan.
Aswan?
Aswan, yes. Okay. It's in the south of Egypt. Now, there's a very particular area where back in the day, ancient times, Egyptians took over the kingdom of Kush. The southern part of the kingdom went south and basically Sudan, and the northern part stayed in Egypt and became Aswan and Luxor. And that's where my family roots are. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's what Nubians are. So Nubians are basically Kushites from that area. Mm-hmm. So yeah.
And what got you into music? What to a point where you were I'm gonna tattoo myself?
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I can't get a 9 to 5.
Exactly. Yeah, the hand tattoos. Exactly. I got into music at 13. The whole story it's just long story short. I came across my first rap song, and which was Stockholm Syndrome by Great and Square, and I contacted that artist. The artist ended up getting me into music, and from that day forward, I just decided rapping is what I wanted to do. Just from the first time I wrote the record.
Where did you find this song?
I was by mistake. So I was super into studying anything religion and anything like that. I was super curious. Great and Square is an atheist rapper, so me researching atheism, I came across his song by mistake, and I ended up listening to it, and I ended up talking to him, and then eventually just...
This is on the internet?
This is all on YouTube, bro.
On
YouTube. Back when you can DM people on YouTube.
Yeah.
That's what I did, and then I got a Skype, and then we ended up just chopping it up, and which was crazy, because he was known locally where he was from, and he's from California, so you could say he was a little out there, he was kind of semi famous, indie famous, basically underground famous, and so it was a big deal. But I didn't realize how big of a deal it was until I actually got into hip hop and understood it. So from that point on, I was just man, that's it. That's all I want to do in life. I found my calling, and it seems like everything I did my whole life up to that point was leading up to that point. So I was I had no doubt in my mind. To this day, I have no doubt in my mind whatsoever.
Dope. Let me quickly check that this is recording.
All right.
It isn't, so we're just hanging out.
Okay.
No, it isn't.
I can tell.
Shit. All right. Okay. Tak's broken my couch.
For the third time, by the way.
That's cool. It's fine.
I'm not going to move.
So when, the tattoos, when was that? Was that a proper conscious decision? I'm going to tattoo myself to make sure that I have an incentive to take this seriously.
Yeah, so not all the tattoos. It was just the hand tattoos at the time. It started with just the smiley on my middle finger, and I was okay, this is now I'm not getting anything. But then I was you know what, man? Am I really committed if I don't do my entire fucking hand? And I ended up doing my whole hand, and I was I now know I'm not getting a desk job. I'm doing something that has to do with music.
And this was when you were how old?
This is when I was 16.
So you were still in high school?
No, I dropped out. I dropped out like in the ninth grade or year 10, you know? Yeah, and then I went into SAE for a bit, and then I dropped out of that too. And yeah, just complete dropout. Just the dropout king, you know?
So I remember you were here for a bit, right? And I'm guessing that's when you dropped out and you went back to Egypt.
Yes.
Yeah? Egypt, like, you could argue and say that Egypt's music scene is probably a lot bigger than it is over here.
So much bigger. Egypt's music scene is an actual industry now.
Yeah.
No.
Like, because you got the guys, the Arabian Nights, who are out there, and they made it pretty big out there.
Yeah,
They're
they
proper
did their thing.
right?
Yeah, basically.
Shout out to Sphinx and them.
Yeah, shout out to them. I mean, like, now it's a little different, but like they definitely played a big role, you know, in starting it up there, you know.
Did they have any like influence on you? Like,
No, not at all. I don't have any I don't have any influences from any Egyptian artists or anything like that, because I didn't even, like, when I had went to Egypt for those 2 years, I had only met Egyptian artists there, and only a few of them spoke English the same way I did. So shout out to my boy Falafel on a Waffle.
is that a real name?
Yeah. His name is T, but that's his whole artist thing. But yeah,
Rapper?
so bro, incredible rapper, and like he was the only person I could really connect
A
with.
deceiving name.
Super
Probably destroy you. People are like, what's this falafel?
Exactly. Yeah. No. Trust me, because he's from Atlanta as well. So me and him could talk, and me and him like we kind of understood this whole thing of like being a third culture kid and stuff like that. So which is rare in Egypt, because in Egypt is like where you were born or where your father is from is where you're from. Just shut up, you know. So yeah. So I didn't really get any kind of influence per se from any Egyptian artists or anything like that, or Arab artists. I don't really rap in Arabic like that. I only go as far as to say the word dawahid, and that's it, like the one, you know.
So the music scene there, it's quite established and it's doing really well.
Super well.
But only for Arabic language art, you would say? Arabic music?
I wouldn't say only. I would just say that the market for English speaking North Africans is nowhere near as big.
Even if you sort of like embrace your culture and you bring like your music and right. Arabic identity into it, like there's Abir now from Morocco who's killing it. Like she came out with her new album and stuff, but she completely embraces that Moroccan like identity within her, down to like the writing. Even though it's written in English, it looks like Arabic calligraphy, and the posters and the artwork and everything, the music videos, it's all Moroccan. Like, is that something that you would consider or no?
Here's the thing. There's only one artist I know of that's doing that like in the way that I think is effective. There's this artist called Feluca. She's from Egypt and New York, from what I know. I don't really know exactly, but she has done it in such a way where it's like she's now speaking to all the people like me, right? Now, the only thing about that is she feels very strongly for Egypt, the same way she feels very strongly for New York. I don't feel strongly for Egypt at all, so I don't have that desire to connect.
Did you grow up there?
In Egypt? No, I grew up in Dubai. I'm a Dubai born and raised, so like I don't have that same kind of like love, you know. So naturally,
She grew up there.
From what I understand, she grew up in Egypt and the U.S. So she has like a you know.
So that's where her roots are.
Yeah, exactly. And she's super connected to, and I love that. I love that there's someone, you know, someone to speak to people like me. But I think my path as an artist is I'm still kind of paving the way for myself before anything, for me just to even understand what my whole thing is, you know, because right now I feel like I'm nowhere close even to where I want to be skill wise as an artist. Obviously that's always going to be you know, an unreachable goal, but I feel like I've gotten to the point now where I'm comfortable with the music I'm making, as in I know I'm making good music, but I want to make way better music, but I just don't know where I want to direct that in terms of like my message, my thing, you know? So right now, just a journey, and everyone that is following me at the moment is going on that journey with me. So we'll see what happens, you know?
Okay. So moving back to Dubai, was that both because this is home, but also like you saw more opportunities in music over here?
So I moved back here just because it was the only opportunity that I have was to come back to Dubai. So, like from when I left Dubai, the music scene wasn't even a scene, bro. To be honest with you, I didn't. Like I only.
What
knew
year was this?
I left 2016, I think 2017, something like that, and I got back in August of 2018. So I had no, like when I left, there was nothing. Like there was nothing for me, at least to speak about when I went to Egypt. I was like, okay, yeah, there's a couple of rappers, there's this, but I didn't know any of the history. I didn't know any of the things that were going to happen when I came back. In fact, like the craziest thing is when I actually got back from Egypt, I was going to stop making music. I was going to come back just as my government name, which I'm not going to say because it's funny when people ask. So I was just gonna come back and just do sound engineering. Like that's all I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna live my life. I'm gonna ignore whenever someone asks me if I make music. Nothing.
Why?
I had a very traumatic experience when I was in Egypt, and I just thought to myself like, yo, like how much effort and time can I really sacrifice with a return on that investment? You know, like realistically in the region that I'm in, and I just made the decision, but I was at the same time like itching to get back into a studio or itching to like have an excuse to make music. And Menon called, like the day I landed. He's like, "Oh, by the way, yo, I want to get you on a remix with the Recipe and I on for what was the record? Regular? Yeah. So and then when he said that, I'm like, yes, yes. Well, I wanted
That was the first project.
That was the first thing, bro. The second I landed, I landed on like a day before my birthday.
Yeah.
So August 1st.
Yeah.
This guy called me and was just like, "Oh, bro, you're back. Come." And I'm like,
so that's why you killed it on that record,
bro.
Now I know. Now I know why you killed it on that fucking record.
And what's crazy is I wasn't even
there was
gonna
this added like incentive behind it.
Yeah. Man, I came back. Actually, I went into that studio. I wasn't expecting to actually do anything. I wanted to just be there. And it was in Bailuni's studio, and we were just sitting and we were just talking. I was like, man, feels so good to just be around like not musicians, because I was around musicians there, but like to be surrounded by people who like they want me to make something, like someone that is giving me an incentive to actually like, yo, do something. And I had like 2 or 3 bars I had written for something else before, like long time ago. I was like, okay, let me piggyback off this because I haven't written in a while. And then I ended up writing the whole verse while I was there. I was like, okay, punch me in. Okay, cool. I went to the thing, recorded 2-3 takes, whatever. Bailuni, me and him sat down and we were just looking. He was showing me how he's mixing and stuff. And then I dipped. And I felt great about it, but I was like, okay, that's it. Like, that's okay, cool.
Did we already record our stuff?
I don't know.
Oh, so you didn't hear our stuff?
I didn't hear it. I didn't hear it until I got the full thing.
Yeah, okay.
Which I was so fucking excited for, because at that point I had already sent Aaron like a song. What was it? It was Parking Lot. What was it? In the Parking Lot. I had sent him that a year ago. And had only received that verse like a month after this, if anything. So I was just thinking, I'm like, damn, okay, finally I'm on a record with The Recipe and Menon, who me and him have been trying to make something for ages. Okay, cool, this is a great thing. I'll keep it there and I won't do anything else. I'm just thinking in my head like, okay, well, I'll think about it. When it released and I got excited, that thing in me, that fire just came back a million times, like a million times stronger than anything. I was like, nah, man, what the fuck was I thinking? Like, I'm not gonna stop. Like, it's not gonna happen, you know? And
was there an added incentive to be like, I'm gonna kill The Recipe on this track?
Bro,
I'm gonna destroy these
I
guys.
naturally already feel that with like I naturally already feel that when I'm around rappers I think are fire, and like I naturally feel like, yo, I wanna like, you know, when you're like for example with Aaron, when I did in the Parking Lot, I was just thinking to myself like, I really, really want Aaron to know that like I respect him so much. I'm gonna give him the best fucking verse I could ever do at that time. And I keep in mind, this is like years of like being rejected by you guys because like no, we're busy, we can't make something because you're working on the album. Fair enough.
we were working on it.
We're on the album, and also I was trash to be fair. Like I wouldn't get me on a track back then. So the incentive for me, especially because you guys are on the record, I'm like, yeah, the recipe. I'm about to cook these motherfucking ingredients.
You killed it. You fucking killed it.
Man, that was amazing.
Yeah.
That was an amazing record.
Yeah.
Yeah, appreciate it.
So that sort of started you going, okay, like I want to do this seriously
Yeah,
now.
exactly.
Right? Because you said that you wanted to give up. But then you sent Aaron this fucking record. So were you a bit confused because you'd sent him that record?
But I didn't get anything. I didn't get anything from him.
So okay,
because
so
I didn't really like. Okay, I guess it's not happening.
So because he didn't say anything,
if anything,
that made you go,
exactly.
I give this up.
If anything, I think.
Fuck you, Aaron.
Exactly. Fuck you, bro. I think I was here when he recorded the verse.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah.
Even.
And this is after he heard what you did on regular.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So he was like, okay, maybe this guy is good. Shit.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe I don't know how. I just feel like when I had sent Aaron that thing, I was just like, because he was going through a little writer's block. So I was like, okay, it's just not. Maybe it's just not happening. Like, like, whatever. It's cool.
Yeah.
So I didn't even have it in my mind that like he was gonna, but it happened and turned out fucking amazing. So.
And then I remember not long after that we were at Soledxb and we were watching.
Yes.
And that was exciting for me too, because like that was like one of the first few times I got to properly hang out with you.
Facts.
We had Skyped so many times.
Yes.
There was no Zoom back then.
Yeah.
We had Skyped so many times, and I kept saying how much I couldn't wait to hang out with you at Seoul. And then there we were at Seoul watching fucking Nas. And
exhilarating.
I remember so clearly turning to you and being like, you can be on that stage next year.
Yes, you said that, and I believed it with all my heart, man.
Yeah.
Like.
So what was after regular, after experiencing Seoul and really getting a vibe of, okay, this is the music scene in Dubai now. What was the plan? Like, were you like, I'm getting myself on that stage next year? And what was the plan?
Bro, the thing is, the way I was thinking about it was, I'm not going to give anyone else an option. So, and what woke me up to that was P when he was like, yo, bro, like, unprivate your fucking Instagram. You're not famous. Calm down. And release music. What are you doing? Would you have anything on Spotify? I'm like, no. And he's like, what the fuck are you doing? What are you doing with your music? And I'm like, you make a good point. And I was just thinking to myself, like, yo, I make music like this. I can make a song like this. I just started releasing music every single week. And when I saw results and I like started understanding like algorithms on Instagram and how people like listening and like what they liked listening to, what they were excited for, what they weren't, I was just trying to be as smart about it as possible, but like as consistent. So all I was thinking in my head was, I wouldn't say it, but all I was thinking in my head was like, yo, if I do not get on that stage, I'm going to like, no way is anyone going to think anyone else deserves to be there. Like, I'm going to put in so much work. And it was like, the Soul stage was like my, like, it was like a benchmark, but it wasn't like my like, that's my goal by the end of this year is to get on the stage. It was more like, my goal by the end of whenever is to just continuously release music and like saturate everyone's fucking Instagrams with my face and my voice so that I'm unforgettable. And that's what I did. And I was so happy when I got the call to get on the stage, but I wasn't surprised. And that's when I was happier, when I realized to myself, like, yo, like, you deserve this. Like, this isn't, because I have mad imposter syndrome. Like, I always think that, like, I'm not as good as I think I am, or like, I don't deserve the opportunities I get. But that was the one time I was like, yo, no, fuck that. Like, I released 46 something records.
Damn.
Until I could get,
year.
in that 1 year, until I could get there. Like,
wow.
Literally. And with videos too, like, they weren't just, So yeah. That was
all on SoundCloud? All on Spotify?
All on Instagram, and the ones that got beyond a certain point on Instagram, I put them on Spotify because that was kind of my marketing whole plan at the time.
So after Soledxb, did the whole thing change anything for you?
Definitely. I feel like for me, that was an example of like, you know, as hard as I was working for my goals, I think that was an example of an attainable goal, like something that I've worked for and reached, and that was something that I haven't, you know, experienced before in my career. So now that I had known and understood now what an attainable goal is and what I needed to do certain things, the efficiency of what I do and the quality of what I do has completely increased, and my mindset is now more focused on consistent quality as opposed to just consistent, you know, like I've already done that, you know, I've done the whole, okay, just knock out a track every week, and even though the quality was decent and it was good, and you know, but that's not enough. Like I needed to step up my game. I needed to make sure that everything I release from this point forward is like A1. Like even though what A1 was for me before, so was one thing, and after that was like, yo, I need to like impress the fuck out of myself. Like I need to make sure the world can undeniably listen to my music and not feel like they're listening to just an indie artist. I need to be a worldwide, you know, as Reem always says from Collective, she's always like undeniable. That's it, undeniable artist. That's all I needed to be, and that's what I'm working towards, you know.
And suddenly the lockdown hit.
Yes.
COVID hit and lockdown hit, and like, how did you take that? Like, was that like a blessing in disguise for you, or did it make it difficult for you, or what?
So, for me, just in general, I don't go anywhere. So I don't really go out. I don't really. When I do interact with people, it's usually an event or it's in the studio already, you know. So, in terms of that social life and, you know, doing things and whatever, it didn't really affect me that much. I stayed at home anyway. I think it was even better because now everyone that I wanted to connect with, we kind of had more time to talk because we had Zoom, had, you know, people were just indoors more, and now that's more my zone, you know. So I wanted to take that opportunity to release more, but at the same time, things were difficult, you know, like people, you know, how people are right now. Everything is a mess in terms of jobs. So I wanted to, before I continued, I wanted to be a little more stable. So I took my time and I left my release schedule behind, and I was like, no, I need to focus on my mental health, my like, you know, sustainability in life. And I did that, and now that that's a little bit more stable, I can go back to making music how I want to, releasing how I want to, you know, back to the grind basically. So it just, that process has been a little difficult. Now that I'm out with Second Chance with Michelle, shout out to Michelle. I'm excited, man.
So are we going to hear any of that experiences in your music? Are you expressing any of that into your music now? Like
in terms of like the quarantine thing?
Yeah, like what you were going through then, and the stuff that you had to go through mentally and spiritually, emotionally.
I think maybe more the outcome of that, what I was going through, as opposed to what exactly I was going through. So the outcome of that is basically me realizing a lot of things and appreciating a lot more. You know, my whole journey has always been centered around appreciating myself and the things around me. That's the whole concept, like Broke Forever, for example. Like Broke Forever is literally just, when you're broke, you appreciate everything. You know, it's not about having no money. It's about making sure that, you know, everything you have is, you understand the value of it, you know? So I just had to think again, I had to remind myself, count your blessings. You know, I had to count my blessings again. And after I've done that, I think, like, you know, I've done recently a song called Parking Lot Baby, talks about just that, like how important everything is to me, how important it is that I focus on those things and, like, you know, imbue them into my music and make sure that's what that's me, you know. So yeah, maybe the outcome more than anything, but in terms of, there's a lot of things that are not, I think are better left unexpressed in a certain way in music when it comes to music for me, as I love vulnerability more than anything, but I just feel like I'll do more for myself and for people listening if I just talk about what the outcomes of what I've done, because it's hard to explain things from my context, you know. So my context is a very like convoluted, weird way, like I think in a very weird way, so I have to always put in that extra effort to explain things on records. So I think maybe showing people that there is an outcome in the first place is a good way to do it in my way, you know.
Okay. And like, you know, you're working with a lot of musicians over here now. You're working with a lot of producers, different artists, and stuff like that. Some of them are from here, but are stuck in other countries because of what's going on and stuff. Like, how do you think everyone else feels about the way things are now? You know, like before any of this happened, everyone was always saying that like the Dubai music scene is like very, very young and still has so much more to grow. Like, now what? Like, how does everyone feel? Does anyone care, or does it not affect them? Do they just keep creating?
I think people are just realizing a little bit more now how much, you know, as much as, you know, the whole Dubai rap scene thing, or like Dubai scene music, whatever is, it's almost like a pipe dream at this point. But I think what everyone's realizing is like how much, if we just focus on ourselves and just make the music, stop worrying about reposts, stop worrying about other people, and just doing our thing, our individual careers growing does everything. If everyone just focuses on them, obviously we help each other out. Like, it's not like it's still a scene, you know, like we're still all in one way or another homies, right? So like, but this at the same time, like the second we stop thinking about like, okay, this artist is doing this and this artist is doing that, and we just do our thing collectively, when we're all growing, our work will speak for itself. You know, I don't think we need to have any more Zoom panels about anything. I don't think we need to have any more talks about anything. It's just do you, and man, shut the fuck up, honestly. Like, just shut the fuck up. And just grow as an artist, and naturally you're going to take Dubai with you if that's what you want.
And you think that's happening right now? Because I'm seeing, like, I saw you the other day at Jeezy's crib with all these producers and all these artists and stuff, right? Like, do you think that because of what's going on, like, it's kind of making people come together and work together more?
I think the source of them, like where it's coming from, is different. Before, the people were doing it for the sake of doing it. I think now it's like, we don't have time, we don't have effort. No one wants to put in that extra effort to be fake and just meet with someone for the sake of meeting with them. Like, that day, everyone was working. They all did. There was an end product that day. You know, it wasn't just, okay, we're all producers. Let's do a thing. You know, no, it was like, yo, they went, and when I came in, they were recording, bro. They were recording. There was rappers there too. Lord Sirish, they were recording. Banks was sitting there doing the motherfucking the thing, like, you know, Jeezy was doing the bomb and the, you know, so it was cool. That was dope to see, and that was dope to see them coming together out of wanting to just fucking make music. It wasn't to tell other people that that's what they were doing. You know what I mean? That was what I think was the problem before. And I think that stems from people wanting to work on themselves also. Like, collaboration is a great thing. It's necessary in scenes, but if we don't focus on if we don't collaborate because we also want to grow ourselves as artists, what's the point? Because now, before, I just saw people collaborating for the sake of collaborating together so they could say they collaborated with this person. That's it. It's not like that no more, in my opinion. Or at least when it is like that, it's very obvious and people just don't care for it. And, you know, I'd love to see more things like that happening with producers, but especially producers. Like, I don't think I've seen more than 3 producers in a room before that. Yeah. They were always just doing their thing, hidden. But now I think they're, you know, I think also, in my opinion, thanks to AY speaking out about a lot of producers not getting the credit they deserve, I feel like a lot of producers felt, you know, that kind of like, you know, actually, yeah, fuck it, we're dope. Like, we're our own artists in our own right. We deserve to fucking have we had our own Spotify pages. We deserve to be like recognized as artists. We work. We should get paid for what we do. You know, and that was really dope. I'm glad that that's a thing now. You know, because now great producers are coming out like that I didn't even realize. Like Control, for example. Control is fucking...
dude, I gotta say, Control's album, I'd have to say, is one of the best pieces of work that I've heard come out of this region.
Facts.
Like, unbelievable. The fact that I had no clue who this kid was, and he just came out of nowhere.
Out of motherfucking nowhere, bro.
With this production, which is amazing production, and with everyone on it, I was like, yo, like, where and how did this like?
Do you see what I mean? What happens
under
when
the
like
radar, but just boom.
do you see what
amazing
happens
work.
when people work together for not for the sake of just working together?
Yeah.
Like something,
Yeah.
up end product, a thing, you know. So that was fucking amazing for me. Like when I listened to that album.
Were you on it?
No, I wasn't. I was. I think.
See, that was the thing. I was like amazed by how there were so many people on it, but like there also wasn't like your usual people.
Right.
It wasn't you. There wasn't like like there wasn't there wasn't MoFlo and stuff. Like it wasn't like the usual. It was all these new people, and it was just amazing music. Right.
100%. And I like when I met Control for the first time, it was at that little producer gathering thing. I was you could just tell, bro, like certain people just want to make music. They just want to make music. He had no concerns about like, oh, you're oh man, like this is Seki or this is Tak or this is whoever. He was just like, bro, like I think this beat, like it works. Please go do your thing, you know? I love that, man. I don't want sometimes people send me like EDM beats and shit. It's like, I mean, and like not to say that I'm anybody, but like it's just kind of like, bro, have you heard my music or have you heard of me? You know, it's like, what do you want?
You don't take that as a challenge? You don't take
No,
like,
because it's,
maybe they're hearing something that you don't and they're like,
but the thing is, it's never like that. It's never like, yo, by the way, you know, it's like, yeah, bro, I sent you a beat pack, and then there's like bro, I don't.
Yeah.
Like maybe one day.
Yeah.
You know, you never know. I did fucking Second Chance. It was indie rock. I never thought I would ever do that. What do you send me, like fucking like 90s garage? I don't know, something. I'm not gonna fucking do it. I'm sorry. Like, but that's the thing. Like that's something, you know. Control, I think, one of those like pure music makers that I really like. You know.
So what are you excited about after all this? Like, after now we're like, we're at the end of lockdown, things are going back to normal, like experiencing things like this producer get together and stuff, going around and doing a lot of interviews with people and working with different artists. Like what are you excited about?
I'm excited to
like, is there anything to look forward to?
I think for me, I'm looking forward to seeing more people do their thing. And I'm excited to see collaboration on like that same kind of level. And I'm also excited to see a lot of artists come out of the woodwork. A lot of artists that we don't know about. Like Dubai, it's very easy to feel like we know everybody. It's so easy. But at some point 2 years ago, no one knew who the fuck I was. Everyone knew who I was, but no one knew who I was. Does that make sense? Like
you literally went from 2018 Big Tak, who apparently didn't want to do music anymore, to doing the record regular. 1 year later, you're on stage at Soledxb, and you're one of the most sought after executive producers, sound engineers, and artists in the city.
It's crazy.
In a year.
That's mad. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah, man. For real. Like, I want to see more artists like that. And it's just grind. It's like you said, just grind. Oh my God, bro! I used to get so annoyed. Doing you and grinding. Like I used to get so mad, especially with like when you or P used to tell me like, bro, just make music, man. Just keep at it. And it was kind of like all your own videos. I did all my own videos. You learned all that as well. All of that. I'm still learning. I'm still trying to, So there's no excuse. YouTube whatsoever. Is the best teacher, bro. Imagine I didn't even use YouTube. No way. I didn't even use YouTube, bro. I maybe for the video stuff, I maybe YouTubed like something really stupid that I should have known how to do, but I just couldn't do it, so I just gave up and like, okay, fine, how do I cut, or like how do I do this? But from there, it's like I learned the tools all myself. But then again, that's stupid. Go to YouTube. I'm just being like arrogant for no reason. But if I can do this and be arrogant, I'm an engineer and I make music. I'm not a video guy. I'm not a graphic designer, but I make my own covers. I make my own videos. Can do this exact same. Like I never had to wait for somebody to do anything for me, because the second I knew mixing and mastering was a thing, I went and learned that bitch. I was like, I'm not about to wait for nobody to send me a record back. No. And even if you don't intend, on waiting for anyone, if you don't intend on mixing your own music, if you do send something over, you'll be able. If you know how to engineer, at least you'll be able to tell the engineer what you want. That's a luxury that most artists don't have, and that's a massive like flex. You know, like that's a big advantage you have. Just I think if you're gonna make if you're gonna get into anything, it's like learning the things around it is like a must, especially if in the age of independent, artistry. But yeah,
cool. So to end this,
yes,
everyone always like Adnan, I think he did it, right? Like he did this cool thing where he was like, what would you say to your past self, right? To your younger self or whatever. I want to do the opposite.
Okay.
What would you say to yourself 5 years from now? Like, what do you hope 5 years from now?
I get that.
So what would you say to Tack 5 years from now? You Tack. 5 years from now, Tack, sup?
Yo, fam. Yo, I hope you're not as fat. Or like if you're fatter, at least you're sexier. I hope you work with your favorite artists. I hope you get into the point where
you already have worked with your favorite artists.
Yeah.
Oh no, you haven't. You haven't made anything with me by myself.
Regular. I'm playing. Fucking work with your favorite artists. Make all the fucking music you can, and don't forget why you started this, bro. You keep forgetting. I just forgot last week. Don't forget, please. Please don't forget why you did this. And man, just don't forget the enjoyment. Don't forget how much you love it. Don't stop that, and just I pray to God in the future, in 5 years from now, like I pray to God that you're at least halfway through the dreams that you have right now. And
what are those dreams? So he can check them off.
All right, bet. Yo, make an album with MF Doom. Produce a record for Kendrick. Or produce
in 5 years' time.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, look what
produce,
you did in a year,
not make
right?
Beats for produce. You know what I mean?
What you did in a year. Shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
You never know, man. And speak to as many of the legends in your head, who the legends of music are, and speak to them and learn as much as you can from them and become one. Become one for everyone else. Remind people what it's like to have a Jay-Z. Remind people what it's like to have a Michael Jackson. Remind people what it's like to have that, and not just someone that's on Instagram all day, like you are now, basically. Change, man. Change for the better. That's it.
I hope you don't have COVID-25.
COVID-25. Well, I might as well have fucking...
Love you, bro.
I love you too, Future Attack.
Thanks for doing this, bro.
Always, my G. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.